the debt ceiling crisis, even if it's resolved, it doesn't address the real problem. And the real problem is the large gap that is opened between government revenues and government expenditures. It's roughly $1 trillion a year. And the main source of financing for that is the Federal Reserve creating the new money to buy the new debt issues. So resolving the debt crisis simply means they can continue with this, which is the real crisis.
At what point does the world say, I'm done, no more dollars?
It's gone on longer than I thought it could. Excuse me. So I don't really know, but if you look at what recently happened in the United States government's effort to make its military intervention in Syria, it was simply blocked by the rest of the world. They said, nope, we're not going along with it this time. And so you can see this is a further deterioration in Washington's ability to get its way. And I don't think they'll be successful in their plans to overthrow Iran. It's going to be blocked. People have caught on. And so this further erodes, the confidence of the world in the United States and the willingness to cooperate with it. And this economic problem was caused by a number of factors, but the two main ones was the offshoring of the jobs. When you, as we've said before, when you offshore so many middle class, high productivity, high value added jobs, you're essentially giving away your own gross domestic product.
Yes.
You're giving away your economy, your tax base, and you're also giving away the consumer economy because the people don't have the incomes to support the consumption-driven economy. So you weaken the economy in all those ways. At the same time, you launch on these multi-trillion-dollar wars. You've got no way to finance them. You print money. You run red ink. You print money. They've been doing this now. They've been running these wars for 12 years. They've been offshoring the economy for 20. They now have a gap between revenues and expenditures that they really can't close. It would help to stop the wars. That would close a significant amount of the gap, but there'd still be a gap. And so how can they get the jobs back? They've given them away. The Chinese aren't going to turn them loose. So this is the real crisis, and the debt ceiling crisis is really dancing around that. Resolving the debt ceiling crisis does nothing except let them continue this policy that produces the wide gap.
Where they're printing trillions of dollars.
A while longer. Not forever, but they can continue it for a while longer.
When it blows up, what does it look like? What does it look like when it finally, when the sum of our fears happen and oops, they did it? What does it look like?
Well, it's hard to know all the aspects, but some of them are apparent. One is the dollar collapses, and so you have very high domestic inflation. We're now an import-dependent country, so everything we import goes up, beginning with oil and gasoline. And so, and all food products and all transportation costs, so everything goes up. So you're faced with sharply rising inflation, but falling incomes because the economy will be contracting. So it'll be worse than the Great Depression because in the Great Depression, prices fell with employment. But now they'll be rising. Prices will be rising. Employment will be falling. This is a disastrous situation. The bond market, of course, will collapse. Interest rates will skyrocket. The stock market will collapse. The whole system just breaks down.
What would happen to gold and silver?
They explode. It's absolute, in dollar terms.
They would explode in dollar terms.
Silver and dollars would explode. Maybe not in some other currencies that are not subject to this devaluation. But the dollar price would explode, and the Fed would no longer be able to short the market to keep the price down, because nobody would take any futures market, any dollar-based American future market seriously. These markets would just disappear. So, and the world now would then have to regroup. The dollar would no longer be the financial currency. The United States would lose its financial hegemony, its financial imperialism that it imposes on everybody. It wouldn't be able to embargo people or threaten to cut them off from the international payment system. Essentially, it would make the United States powerless. Even with its nuclear weapons, it would simply be powerless. It would have no other form of power to affect anything. So it would be a whole different world. And
are we heading to that world?
I think we are, because Washington never shows any sign of intelligence. It shows certain cunning to achieve some undeclared agenda, like wars in the Middle East. They rig evidence to create some justification for attacking somebody. They got that kind of cleverness, but they're not intelligent in the sense of understanding the unintended consequences of what they're doing.